is Dionne. Maybe we'll do that backwards. Hi, I'm Dionne, also known as GreenTeaNinja. I am really happy to welcome you to my first podcast, Choose Yarn, episode 1. So I am probably going to try and shoot to make these podcasts roughly 20 minutes, so it's something that you can watch maybe while you're making dinner, on your lunch hour, or maybe just a few minutes in the evening when you're doing your crochet work or yarn work. So I really would like to be able to give you a little bit about myself. I learned how to crochet when I was in 8th grade. I babysat my next door neighbor. She was in high school, special needs. My neighbor Amy, she was special needs, and I babysat her for an entire summer. It was an amazing summer, actually. We just hung out. It was really, I got paid just to hang out with Amy. She taught me how to crochet. She only knew one stitch. It was a single crochet, but she made so many blankets with this single crochet stitch. She taught me how to crochet. I taught her how to bake, box cakes, Duncan Hines kind of box cakes, and we hung out, crocheted, and made cakes all summer long, and I got paid for it. It was a brilliant summer, and for years that's all I did, is a single crochet. I never did learn how to knit, did a lot of quilting, and then I found my way back to crochet right around the pandemic times. So it was a good time to find crochet again. So this summer this year, 2022, is really the summer of clearing out my whips. Behind me, you'll see my whip cupboard. It's absolutely full to the brim. So works in progress. Before I get any further, I want to kind of explain a little bit about my definition of a whip. So it's a little bit stricter than many people. If I have a project, a pattern, and yarn all put together and set aside, then that yarn is no longer available to work on anything else. So I consider that a work in progress, even though I have not started chaining anything. It's not on my hook. I still consider that a whip, and I have too many of them. I don't know what I started with in January exactly. I could probably figure that out. But in April is when I decided to start in on this challenge of clearing out all of my whips, or as many as I can, in 2022, which will give me the freedom to start a new project without any guilt, without any backlog. And I also want to be a little bit more efficient with my money. So there's so many reasons why I want to do that. All right, so when I started this project, the Great Whip Clearing of 22, I took a list of all of my current projects, and I had 21 at that time. So I had 1 test, 1 dress, 2 stuffies, 7 blankets. Oh, I guess that makes it 22. So I had 22, sorry. 7 blankets, 6 sweaters, 3 cardigans, 2 shawls, and 1 tank. That's 23. I guess I didn't count that tank top. Okay, so when I started this, I had 23. And then subsequently I added 4, and I finished 2. So I'm not making a whole lot of progress necessarily. Yeah, that's a little bit sad, isn't it? But I think that I'm gonna be accountable. Every week I'll go over in depth one of the whips that I have. I'm gonna link all of them down here on my projects. The link will take you right to the project page in Ravelry, because some of these projects, some of them I haven't even put on my project page yet, but as part of this process, I'm gonna put them all, I'm gonna create a project for every single one of them, and then I'm probably gonna hibernate the ones that I haven't started working on yet. So to find them, you'll either need to scroll all the way down or use the link that I put below so that you can find it. And that'll also link to the pattern, the designer, as well as the yarn that I'm planning to use. So that's kind of a little bit of an overview of my great whip clearing of 22. I will go into a lot more detail soon. And I do want to talk a little bit about what I've started, what I'm working on for June, and what I'm planning to work on for June, and then also my great jobby day, which is going to be on Memorial Day, Monday, so stay tuned for that. Sorry about that. That was my alarm reminding me that it's time to eat. So I finished the Bodacious blouse, and I finished the Jane shawl by Naomi Vincent of Nene Makes, and I love that shawl absolutely so much, and I should probably pull it out and show it to you, because it's really one of my favorites, because I really love this scrappy boho look. It's so beautiful. This is another one that you can, I actually don't usually wear shawls like this. I have a tendency to wear them more where I wrap them around, but anyhow, I'll have the link below so that you can see both the Ravelry project. There's kits that Naomi has available, so you can check out a link below to grab your kit if you want to, or just the pattern to her Etsy shop. She sells everything, I think, through Etsy. So then those are the two things that I have finished. Now, I do have a few things that have already been started of those whips. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 projects that have been started. And you would think that those would be the ones that I would be working on first and foremost. But I really want to work on the things that excite me the most. So I started off with 22 whips. I've already added 3 more to that list. I started off with 21, I finished 2, and I added 3. And one of those was the Corinne Cardi. That's this. The Corinne Cardi is a granny square project. Let's see if I can show you the front page of this. It's a granny square project that was put on by Knit Collage. Now, Knit Collage is a knitting company. They do a lot of really great knit works. It's a community. They sell yarn, and they're pretty awesome. But I saw this Corinne Cardi, and I was really excited about it. I wanted to get the colorway by Tony with TL Yarn Crafts. That one sold out. I got on when they opened up for sale 30 minutes in, and by the time I scrolled through, figured it all out, and selected the Tony's colorway. It was already sold out. She sold out in 30 minutes, 45 minutes max, and I couldn't get it. So I chose another colorway, which was Go With The Flow. And I'm a little bit bummed because when I went to block each of my squares, it ran a little bit, and that's not very exciting. The other thing is that you need to knit the sleeves. I don't know how to knit, so I need to learn how to knit. So I've come about as far as I can go on this until I have to knit the sleeves. I have a good friend, the Space Needler, Kyla. She's generously offered to teach me how to knit. I will link her Instagram down here because she's pretty awesome to follow as well. If you like knitting in patterns, she's on Instagram. The other thing that I that I started was an Advent tee, which is, I don't know if you've really worked with Advents, but I always struggle. I love an Advent. I just love that surprise of opening up and finding a new, beautiful, lovely yarn every day of a month. But I struggle with what to do with the Advent yarn once I have it. So I'll do a roundup when it gets a little bit closer to December. I've been amassing all of these really great patterns that you can use with your Advent yarn. So that's another really exciting one. The other thing that I started that I added to my list is the Griselda wrap. I'm gonna just fold this under. The Griselda wrap by Not Bad Brit. And I love Not Bad Brit. Not only is she beautiful and amazing designer, she's a tester and just a great all-around person. And I'm gonna do that in this Hazel Knits yarn. It's a fingering weight. Finny Ridge is the colorway. Let's see if you can I don't know if you're gonna be able to get a really good view of that colorway. But it's got merino and cashmere. It's 70% merino and then 20% cashmere. So it's got this amazing luxury fingering weight, soft feel to it. It's gonna drape really beautifully. And this is gonna be one of the items that I cast on for June. So this is gonna be on the hook in June. Even though I've got a bunch of others. I added this local yarn shop day. I got an opportunity to hang out with Britt at our local yarn shop, the Fiber Gallery. And it's one of those things where I was really excited about it. I want to start it up right away. And because I'm going to finish up all of this, I'm not going to feel guilty about starting on this. So this was a new add to my whip list, and I'm gonna get it onto the hook immediately. We're gonna start this in July. So the other thing that I'm starting in July is it's called the Golden Hour Sundress. This one was already on my whip list. I bought it. I bought a kit from Lion Brand, and it's in this 24 cotton. I selected the Sky colorway, and so this is a beautiful dress pattern. And the reason that I'm going to make it now is because in June, it's because I'd really like to have it available to wear over the summer. So I generally like to wear summer clothes, make summer items in the winter and winter items in the summer. So I'm going to get this on the hook in June. So that'll be one of my next projects that I'm going to work with. I really plan out all of my works and my crochet. I really love to be able to, it helps me to feel really productive. Plus, I love checking things off of to-do list. And then give myself the grace and freedom to be able to just rearrange that whole list whatsoever anytime I want to. So in the month of May, what I've been doing is, this is one of the things that I finished in May. Again, you can see this in my Instagram reels. But the other thing that I've been working on is this really amazing design by Courtney over at Tinderbox, the Lily sweater. And I'll have that link down below as well. So for this one, it's a winter. It's really, for me, this is a winter sweater. So I don't know why necessarily I started it off at the time I did, except for that I don't know, I just starting to feel a little motivated to get this done. So it was originally not even started. So I'm gonna just give you a little bit of a peek on how far I've gotten. So it's done in the round. Now for me, I am very busty. So when I do patterns in the round, I will, unless I'm testing. When I'm testing, I never alter anything. But when you're really busty, one of the things with size inclusivity that sometimes is not really apparent for designers who are not larger, they don't remember that just adjusting the stitch count is not always enough. So and it's very difficult with patterns in the round. So one of the things that I did adjust on this for my personal body type is that I adjusted it because I don't like the blousiness that you get in the back when you have a larger size in the round. Just because I have more that I need up front does not mean that I need more stitches in the back. So anyway, I made this adjustment for that. There's a few areas that I adjust and patterns that are in the round. I have a friend who carries her weight mostly in her back, right around her bra line, and so we came up with an adjustment for patterns in the round for that as well. This is a little bit, oh God, this is just coming out so nicely. I'm right about ready to follow the pattern exactly as written, just to decrease my sleeves a little bit, but it fits me so nicely. I really love this pattern. One of the things about an in the round pattern is, if you've not done one before, is always to remember that when it's still really high up, it's not gonna fit you, it's not gonna fall as nicely as it does when you've got the weight of the yarn. So have a lot of faith in your designer, in the pattern, and just remember basic physics, right? It's as you create more rows, the weight of the yarn is going to give you that really, really nice look that you get from a sweater that's created in the round. Anyway, I'm really loving it. I love this design here. This is the Lily sweater, and again, I will link to my Ravelry page down below where you can get all the information, including the yarn, which I also am loving this yarn by the Hook Nook. And this was one that I wish I would have started a lot sooner. It sat in I bought it in 2020. I was so excited about the packaging that I got as this kit from Hook Nook that it really inspired me to do my first reel. Then it sat there in my whip cupboard. Not this one, because I've now since moved, but it sat there for, I got it in 2020 and now it's 2022. It sat there for 2 years. How sad is that? But I'm really excited to get it done now. So my expectation is to finish this in June This is June finish. I'm gonna finish that. I'm gonna finish the the Shawl Griselda by Not Bad Brit. And I hope to be able to finish the Golden Hour sundress as well. Now, one of the things that I have going on is I wanted to challenge myself to finish something in one day. One day, one pattern. And I had the perfect pattern to do it in. Let's see if I can find the papers right here in front of me. And that is the Dobby cardigan. This Dobby cardigan is so cute. It's a very simple, beginner-friendly pattern. It's a cardigan with a hoodie, and hoodies are so handy to have in the Seattle weather. 100%. I don't think people ever use umbrellas here. We just always have a good hoodie. So this is really kind of exciting. I've done many of Evelyn's patterns before. They're a lot of fun. She's amazing. And if you like chunky yarn, you have probably heard of her because she specializes in the most amazing chunky wearables. So for that one, what I'm gonna do is I've got Dobby Day. That's what I called it, is Dobby Day. I should turn this around so you can see. This is my bag of MJ Yarns, which is a local yarn dyer who has a place at Pike Place Market. They make some really great yarn, which I love. Also, I'll have a link below. And if you're local to the Seattle area, go check them out. Really cool yarn. Anyway, so the pattern calls for worsted weight held double. I had bought this yarn. This is a alpaca merino 50-50 worsted weight yarn. Super soft, beautiful. It's in Daisy Detonation is the, that's the name of this colorway. But I didn't actually buy enough skeins to be able to do the entire sweater because I didn't have an idea when I bought this what I wanted to use it for. So I didn't buy enough. And what I decided to do was I thought that holding it double with a solid color would really not take away from the beauty of this dyed yarn. So I decided to use white. And now I've caked up those white, and I'm not sure I'm gonna love it as much because I'm worried that it's gonna take away from the yarn, the beautiful color of the yarn, with the overpowering of the white. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not gonna be able to change my mind now. I've already, when I cake up to hold double, I cake it up together. So I want to be able to just get it on the hook and then just go without having to worry about managing two different cakes. So that's the way I do things. And in preparation for my day of Dobby Day, the day of creating this, I've pre-caked most of these. I'll have to re-cake a few of them still because I've got two more skeins that I need to cake up. But I've got it all together, and I have my hook, which is a also by Evelyn Pink Sheep Designs. Their hooks are great because they are super ergonomic and very comfortable. So if you like using chunky yarn and chunky wearables, then you need a larger hook. I highly recommend Pink Sheep Designs. And check out how sparkly that is. Can you see? I don't know if you can really tell how beautiful this hook is, but I love it. And I love to be able to have a beautiful hook. I have useful hooks, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I have a ton of hooks that I use. I have things that I call my working hooks, and I keep them in this little vase that my daughter made me when she was in 2nd grade. And these are all just useful. But what I really like are to have the beautiful hooks. So for chunky hooks, my preference, and comfortable. So for chunky hooks, my preference is Pink Sheep Designs. And for smaller, finer hooks, I use Furls. But I'm always happy to try new hooks. I always love tools, right? New tools are always so much fun to start with. So in preparation for Dobby Day, one of the things that I did is I caked up all my yarn. I have 2 more cakes that I need to do to get ready for that. I printed the pattern and I read it through, which is pretty important to me. I don't always do that. I know that's terrible. I think that that's a habit that I need to get into, is reading through the entire pattern beforehand. I do that for test patterns only, but for my own patterns, if I'm not testing, I don't know why, but if I'm not testing a pattern for another designer, then I just jump in and go and figure it out as I go along. Maybe not the best idea. So I printed the pattern, I assembled all the tools, got it all together in one spot, including my gorgeous hook. The other thing is because I want to do this all in one day. I don't know how long that's going to take me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I can do it quickly, but this is a really great pattern to do it on. So one of the things that I did is I planned meals and breaks, right? So I'm not going to have to run to the store. I'm not going to have to go grocery shopping. I'm sorry, that's my little puppy. A lot. He has congenital heart failure, and that's not gonna ever go away. But he's a sweetheart. So with the Dobby Day, I've planned food, meals, so that I can just hang out at home, breaks, right? Because I don't want to sit too much for too long. And I have a designer check-in. So I'm going to be able to do a live stream with my friend Evelyn from Pink Sheep Designs. We're gonna do a check-in. We're gonna talk about the Dobby, see how far I've come. We're gonna do that. If you want to take a look on Instagram, live stream at noon Pacific and at 2 p.m. Central. That's her time zone. She's in Alabama. Come check it out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So basically, that is my entire. That's my entire plan for June. What I'm casting on for June, the whips I have going on, what I want to finish. Also, the other thing I have is one other whip that I started. This whip I started a long time ago. It's the oldest one that I have. This was a tank top that I started from the bottom up. And I think I'm going to just, it's made out of this tweed material, really thick. And I think, actually, I was thinking I would just frog it. But now that I've pulled it out, I like the texture of it. And it's a bottom up. Oh, I didn't put a stitch marker in there to keep it from unraveling. That's unfortunate. I just pulled out 3 stitches. So let's just pull this up so that I don't do that again. There we go. So this is a tank top. I like my tank tops long. Maybe not that long. So I've already come, well, maybe I'll just finish it. I was all planning to unravel and frog, but maybe I can just finish it. Oh, but it does actually, it might not fit me. So we'll see. Maybe I better try it on and make peace with either unraveling it or finishing it. I really thought I was just gonna frog it. I really did, but Now I'm looking at this. I really like the texture. Let's see if you can see the texture. I don't know if that came out, but anyway, this is one that I'm going to need to make a decision on. I'll either frog it or finish it. I think that's everything for this week's podcast. I will be trying to load these on Monday or Tuesday of every week. I'm gonna give myself a little grace in what days I drop them, but I'll be filming them generally on Sundays and Mondays and dropping them Mondays and Tuesdays. Thanks for tuning in. I will, if you enjoy, please like it. Subscribe if you feel so inclined. Check me out on Instagram. I've got a lot of things going on. I'm on TikTok as well, not as much, Reddit, and also Ravelry and Facebook a little bit. Thanks so much. See ya.